Welcome to Family Basics 101. I'm Dr. Bruce McClure, and as we continue our series entitled 5 Things Every Child Desires, today we will talk specifically about the desire of discipline. We've looked at the desire of a child to have a secure home, the desire of the child to have parents who really care, the desire of a child to really be loved, the desire of a child to receive encouragement, and now we'll talk about discipline and how that's really a desire of every child. Some people define discipline as punishment exclusively, and far be it from that. Discipline must be viewed as correctional training with the intent of molding and developing an individual's mental, physical, social, and spiritual growth. So for a child, they understand and they desire that the parent understand that discipline is much more, much broader than what we would call punishment. Discipline is really what moves children into a place where they truly have proper control of the spheres mentioned above. Those spheres of mental development, physical development, social development, and spiritual development. It is the lack of proper discipline or the child's refusal of proper discipline that develops into a child who is really not well balanced. So children really want to be balanced. Children want to fit in. Children want to blend in. Children want to be accepted. And one of the ways that we ensure the children's blending in, the child being accepted, the child growing up properly, is through discipline. And that is a desire of every child. Discipline involves boundaries, expectations, trainings, and enforcement that protects not only the child from others, but it also protects others from the child if the others also have received proper discipline. So discipline is going to be the protector for your child, and discipline is also, if it's given out correctly in the homes and the communities where other children are likewise developing, discipline becomes the regulator that protects children from children and adults from adults. When children interact, communicate, share, and other type expected social norms, you'll begin to see the type discipline or the lack thereof that the child has received or have not received. So if you ever wonder, well, what type discipline did this child get early on? Watch how they handle themselves as adults. Watch how they interact with others. Watch the behaviors. Watch the modeling of the child as he or she develops. And you will be able to answer the question, what type discipline did the child receive? Discipline received in the formative days and years of a child becomes the predictor for how they will date, how they will work in teams, how they will deal with spouses, how they will manage behaviors with other adult peers. Discipline, the child desires it, because as that child grows older, the child indeed wants to fit into relationships. The child indeed wants to fit into social norms. The child wants to fit into spiritual settings, relational settings. And the child can feel frustration when it's not fitting in as a child, as a young adult, or as a person in a marital relationship. It's going to create unnecessary anxieties, unnecessary stressors, And the child, now adult, will actually be frustrated with wondering, well, why aren't people acting like me? And why aren't people responding favorably to me? In the book of Hebrews, chapter 12, verse number 8, the Hebrew writer says, "But if you are without chastisement, whereof all are partakers, then you are bastards and not sons." Don't let the word scare you. Chastisement simply means, but if you are without being well-rounded in your training, in your education, but not just academical education, but in education of the spirit, education of the soul, education of the body. If you are without well-rounded training, whereof all are partakers, that phrase, all are partakers, this simply says this is the exclusive means through which dignity is obtained. And that's the end of the subject. Whereof all are partakers. If there is the expectation of being well-rounded, if there is the expectation of being developed spiritually, if there's the expectation of mental development, then all must be partakers of discipline. That's what the text is saying. Whereof all that are corrected are partakers. And if there's the expectation of being well-rounded, then there must be the acceptance of the training or the discipline. And if there is the void of the discipline, then the text says, then you are bastards. The King James uses the phrase. But that word simply means you are born but living outside the family that is married to chastisement. The family that is married to receiving chastisement is the family of God. The family of God accepts the chastisement or the well-rounded training of the God of heaven. This leads automatically to living according to the rules if there's a voidness. If there's a voidness of the chastisement and there's a refusal to receive the training, this automatically leads to living according to the rules of oneself and the learned world around them. The Hebrew 12:8 text says, indeed, discipline is a part of what every child not only desires, but really what is needed, what is necessary in order for that child to grow into a well-rounded spiritual being who loves the Lord, who loves people, and who loves serving and being served. I'll see you back in class again next time. Don't be late and don't skip class.